the 3 best supplements to build muscle as fast as possible. Of course, everyone knows that exercise is the most potent stimulus of building muscle. The more mechanical stress on the muscles, the faster the muscle responds by getting bigger. What I want to get into is what supplements can you take at the same time to enhance that effect, and some other things that are really important to talk about too, because they can slow you down, if not prevent you from growing your muscles. One of them does stimulate muscle growth, but when you're just taking 3 amino acids, it's just a very incomplete product, because you need more than just 3 amino acids to actually build muscle. And in fact, on some of the double-blinded studies that were done on amino acids, the results are not good. It really doesn't do anything for your muscles. So that's going to be a waste of time. Not to mention, it'll turn into sugar. It'll actually increase your blood sugar many times as well. The other thing I'm going to recommend to avoid if you're trying to build muscle is something called tribulus and fenugreek. Both of those do tend to increase testosterone a little bit, but not enough to really see any change in your muscles. And as we age, testosterone goes down. Testosterone is essential to building muscle. And also our cortisol goes up as we age. And so the combination of low testosterone and increased cortisol is not good for your muscles. One of the biggest things that will do that is overtraining. When you overtrain, you greatly spike cortisol and you shut down your testosterone. That's directly going to affect your muscles. And testosterone actually comes from cholesterol. I don't recommend you go on a low-fat diet or a low-cholesterol diet, let alone take this medication called statins, because statins block cholesterol, which will tank your testosterone and prevent you from developing your muscles. Another big barrier in developing muscles is having insulin resistance, and that comes from usually consuming way too much carbohydrates, as well as eating frequently with all the different snacks. And a lack of sleep is a huge factor in developing your muscles. Since most of the muscle growth occurs when you're sleeping, if you're not sleeping, that could be a big barrier. One of the best things to help you sleep is magnesium glycinate. Magnesium is essential in making energy that actually feeds the muscle. So magnesium is a really important nutrient, but that's not part of the 3 supplements I'm going to recommend. It's just a side note. The first supplement I'm going to recommend is something called creatine monohydrate. Creatine is normally in red meat. Creatine increases ATP, it increases performance, it increases your energy while you're working out, more hydration, as well as increasing muscle stimulus directly, increasing the mass or the size of the muscle. That's number 1 supplement. Number 2, whey protein. Because whey protein powder per scoop gives you enough leucine to stimulate muscle growth. And when you have whey protein, you'll get enough leucine as well as all of the amino acids that you need to develop muscle. If you're going to take whey protein powder, I would just take it once a day. And number 3 supplement is zinc, because zinc increases testosterone. Even if you're mildly deficient in zinc, you will have less production of testosterone. Testosterone is very, very important in developing muscle size and strength. And like I said before, as we get older, when our testosterone goes down, we just cannot develop muscle like we used to. Now, let me shift gears to the food that you should eat. Now, if we're trying to build muscle, we want to eat muscle, okay? And the best muscle to eat is grass-fed red meat. Why? Because grass-fed red meat has high levels of creatine. It also has all of the amino acids, including leucine, and it also has zinc and B12 and carnosine, which is another thing that can help you. And if that red meat also has fat in it, that can give you the cholesterol, the building block to help build testosterone, because you need the cholesterol. Now, you can also do eggs. Eggs are great too, and fish, salmon. But out of all of the proteins and foods you can eat to build muscle, red meat is going to be at the top of the list. And now you know why. There's a couple last interesting points I want to mention. We talked about overtraining, right? That's the worst killer for trying to develop muscle, because you're not going to develop muscle. You're going to spike cortisol and you're going to reduce testosterone. It's going to affect your cognitive function, and it's going to increase your appetite. It's going to cause you to eat the wrong foods. There's also a protein called myostatin that inhibits your muscle growth. You have this protein that kind of keeps you from growing muscles too big. And it just so happens that when you do heavy training, resistant exercise training, you inhibit that protein. And creatine also decreases that protein as well. And vitamin D also can decrease that protein. So you want to get a lot of sun on top of what I just told you. So I hope this data will help you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.